Trajectories, or following a path. So again, we're on Blender, we're hitting general, and you probably think, why does he always do that thing of starting right at the beginning of Blender? It's basically because I don't want you to think that I've done something in preparation for what I'm about to show you. So literally it's just straight in and getting stuck into it. So again, we've got our default cube, and all we're going to do is add a curve, and we're going to add a circle. Now, you can't actually see it because it's within the cube at this stage, so I'm going to scale it out so it is nice and big. And in fact, I'm going to rotate that a little bit. And it looks like the cube, but it's actually the pathway or the circle pathway we're going to be rotating. Now, the idea will be that this cube is going to follow this trajectory or this path. So it will look like it's orbiting something then, going around in a circle. So that's the first part of this. And the way to get that happen is once you've made your curve, once you've made your circle like I've done, if you click on the cube, and basically scroll down to where it says constraints. From the drop down, choose follow path, and you're basically just going to say what it is you're going to follow. So if I click on this and choose the Bezier circle, you can see that it's already kind of chucked itself in position for us. And I've just got to tick that one there, which is follow curve, animate the path, and if I press space, it starts to follow around it. Yay, which is kind of nice. Now, it is a little bit slow at this point, so if I just stop it there and I click on my curve, and if I go down to data, which is that one there, and I scroll down to where it says path animation, where it says 100. If I knock that down, reduce it, I wouldn't do it down to 0, 1 because it gets too fast for you to see. But if you hit 20 and you press space or play, you can see that it's a lot quicker doing it that way like that. Okay, so that's how you make a shape or an object basically follow a trajectory which is kind of already made for us. Now, you might be thinking, that's great, I can go around in a circle, but what if I want to do something more like make my own path? So what we're also going to do, and I've just gone back to the point of this just the cube here, I'm going to go to add and curve again, going to come down a little bit further where it says path, and then I'm just going to hide my cube so we can just see the path there. So if I click on it, and there's this orange line which you can kind of see there, and it's probably better to show you in edit mode because it actually shows you the points which are on the path. Now, the idea is in edit mode when you're on a path, you have all these bits appearing out here. You have curve pen, which allows you to grab each of these and pull them out. And you can see the black line is the curve we're creating. The orange line is just something set up. And I'm also going to try to drag that up like this. That's kind of nice the way that's going on there. And let me grab that one there and drag it out this way. And you could use that tool. There's nothing wrong with a curve tool, but there's also the extrude tool. So on extrude, if you click on X, Y, Z, you can be a bit more kind of like in control of where that's going in some way. So basically it's up to you how you want to make your lines. It's a little bit of give and take, a little bit of playing, but basically that's how you create your own path for something to follow. So if we go back onto object mode, and you can see our curve is there. I'm just going to click away from it for the time being. I'm going to make our cube live and go through the same process again. Click on constraints, click on this, follow path. I'm choosing the NURBS path and I'm following it there. And I'm going to animate the path and I'm going to press play. I was hoping something would have happened, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Why isn't it working? Let me stop that a second. Wait a minute. Give me a second. I think I've worked it out. So I've just gone back a few steps. I'll go back onto object mode, make the cube come alive again. Click on the cube, on constraints, click on that one there, follow path. I'm choosing my NURBS path, and I'm just making sure that that's ticked there. I think last time I had that ticked maybe. But if I animate path and press play, you'll see that it follows the path and I can increase the speed, remember. But what's really cool, it comes off the path and it keeps going along that trajectory until it gets to the end of the frames and it comes back there. So if you want to make this a complete shape, so if I come back onto, because at the moment it's just a path which kind of falls to pieces. If I go on to, sorry, the object mode, select the path, go on to the edit mode, and what I'm basically going to do, I'm going to click on that one there, hold down Shift, and I'm going to come across to the last point there. And I think if I press F, let's see if this works. Yay, it actually makes it to a full shape. So it doesn't, it kind of well, let's press play and see what happens. Basically, we'll just keep going around like a roller coaster then, like that. So it's up to you basically how you want to do it. And again, you can adjust the speed by clicking on the line itself and going down to data and changing the frames to however quick you want it to be to make it go a little bit faster. But that's basically how you make things follow trajectory. I wonder what I'm going to do next. Ta-da! So I've got a fly which I made and I brought it in. It doesn't look quite right, does it? But first of all, we can see the thing on there. So I'm just going to hide the circle, good. And my fly, if I zoom around, it's actually constantly facing the goat. So if I just stop it there a second, I click on my fly, and in fact, I'm going to need to put that back on, I think. And I'm just going to rotate it. So it is, no, that's not right. That's rotating the wrong way completely. Um, I'm going to rotate this so it looks like it's following now. Let's hide that this time. And if I press play, yay! So it's actually buzzing around his head like that. And the only thing I did really with the Bezier circle, so I actually added an animation to this. So it started off at that point where the goat started to move, so keyframe 0 or keyframe 1. And then when it gets down to this point, it stops at keyframe 60. So it was just a movement thing, and that twisted around there. I'm kind of looking at it and thinking, wouldn't it have been better if instead of having to fly going around the goat, maybe the camera could go around the goat, so it's actually panning around the goat to see what it's looking like. Maybe that's something to look at, but I'll leave that down to you guys. Hi, future Rob here. Past Rob didn't show you how to do the camera thing, rotating around something because he didn't know how to do it, but I do know, so I've come to show you how to do it. So I'm not going to put the goat on the screen. I'm just going to use a cube as it is there, and like we did in the video a little bit earlier, we're just going to add a circle. We're going to scale it up and we're going to put it around the outside like so. And I'm just going to rotate this. So this is very much like what we did a little bit earlier when the cube was kind of following that trajectory. Right, so the camera, I'm going to click on it here. Now, before you do anything with the camera, what you should do, because it's already got X, Y, Z location, all these rotations as well, set everything there to 0. So the X, Y, and Z, the rotation to X, Y, and Z to 0 as well. Don't worry about the scale, you don't need to do that at all. Now, the camera is currently selected. It's actually inside the cube, and if I just kind of show you, there it is underneath. Look, just like we did earlier, we're going to go to constraints, click on the drop-down menu, choose follow path, and then from the target, we're going to click Bezier circle, and then it attaches to it. But the issue is, it's pointing down, so if I actually press play and connect it up, it will kind of go around, but we won't actually see the cube, the thing we want to kind of keep the camera focused on. So the other thing I need to do from this drop-down menu, I need to click on track 2. On the track 2, which then appears a little bit further down, we want to track it to what we want to look at, which is the cube. So I just need to tick back up here the follow and then animate path. And then when I press play, the camera is rotating around, look, and it is tracking, looking at the cube itself. And if I click on the camera, you can see it's kind of like revolving around, pointing at it. So that would be really cool, I think, if we use the same technique, the track 2 technique, to actually maybe have a camera following a trajectory along a scene where it might be focusing on something. Maybe that's something you guys can do at some stage. Maybe I'll do as a future Rob task.